Welcome back to Culture Bite. I'm Kevin, and we're taking a bite into the latest Marvel announcements that came out of San Diego Comic-Con. We got a lot of new titles from Marvel titles, so let's start off with Captain America Brave New World. Giancarlo Esposito announced that he would be playing Sidewinder, the leader of the villainous organization known in the comics as the Serpent Society. The Serpent Society is a group of snake-themed supervillains in Marvel Comics. They were first introduced in Captain America number 310 in 1985. We also found out that Celestials are made of adamantium, and that the dead Celestial Tiamat is that proof. So it seems like Kevin Feige was right that the mutant era starts now, and this is what's also inside of Wolverine's claws and Deadpool katanas. Heck, he even said so himself. Next, we got some news on the Fantastic Four. So first off, it got a new title. Now it's called Fantastic Four First Steps. Maybe to reflect the words that Neil Armstrong said when he first stepped on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And there was a quick trailer shown at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to do my best to describe it, so stick with me. First, we see Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal. And he's doing this voice that just sounds like Reed. It's kind of like nerdy or like dorky, but we see him teaching some kids about parallel universe or multiverse, but they seem kind of bored, so he asks who wants to see an explosion. Then we see him fire up a rocket engine. Then we get a shot of what I'm thinking is the city's landscape, which is a retro futuristic New York, and we see Reed's name tag on his suit. Then we see Reed and Ben, played by Ibn Moss, and Reed calls him the best pilot, as Ben says best looking, as Reed says that's one interpretation. Ben says, well, that's the only interpretation. And we see them getting suited up in their spacesuits, maybe even doing a press conference. Then we see this hover car that definitely reminds me of the hover car that Howard Stark was trying to show off at his event in the first Captain America movie. But they also had this flying car at San Diego Comic-Con. Then we hear Reed say that they make it a point to have dinner together every Sunday at 8 p.m. and that they are all there. Then we see the four walking from a tower as we see the name tag Grimm, as we then see a dating show called Let's Make a Match, as the contestant chooses contestant number 3, which we see the silhouette of Ben Grimm as the Thing, and boy, he looks rocky. Then we see lights being flickered on as we see the logo say Storm Richard, Storm Grimm, respectively for the group. Then we see them once again walking towards the rocket ship. We see Reed and Storm hold hands as pictures are being taken of them. Then we hear Sue Storm, played by Vanessa Kirby, as she does a comms check, and I'm assuming she is talking to the audience and letting the ladies know that her brother is single, as we see Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. Then we see more pictures of them being taken, and their spaceship is shooting to the space as we get the logo and the new title. But one last shot we get is of Galactus peeking into the building, and he is huge, and he actually looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Seems like Fantastic Four is gonna also be like a very famous group in this universe. Now for the biggest news is that both Avengers movies will be directed by the Russo brothers, and in 2027 we'll have Avengers Secret Wars. But before that, they announced they needed one more movie to come out before, and that they announced in 2026 Avengers Doomsday, and that Robert Downey Jr. is set to return and play Doom. I went ballistic with this announcement. Like, we just got Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, and now we are having Robert Downey Jr. to return. And when he came out and he said, you know, different masks, same task, and then going on and says he loves to play complicated characters, like, which actually gave me a little bit of insight what kind of possible Doom we are dealing with. But before I get into that, it was also revealed that the cast of Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four would all return for both movies. Now I'm going off of what Robert said, new mask, same task, as this could mean that his mission to put a suit around the world was actually accomplished, and that maybe it put him at odds with other Avengers. But they could take some inspiration from the comics, as in Marvel Team Up Volume 3, we are introduced to Anthony Stark from Earth 5012, where in a ravaged world with war with Titanus, many heroes died, and it turned Stark to be more violent. Then he even went to oppose Reed Richards of his universe, as implied that he did something that caused several deaths. He then went on to make armor that resembled Doctor Doom, leading to an attack that killed the Human Torch and left him scarred with burns. So they could go this route, but Russo brothers did announce that he is playing Victor Von Doom, so could he just have the face of Tony Stark from Earth 616? But that would just kind of be weird. Or is he an Iron Man that failed his mission, and the nightmare that Wanda placed in his mind with all the Avengers dead actually became a reality? for this version of the character, and it just made him a dark person. And I also think that Avengers Doomsday is a movie in which they will lose, and Doom makes a battle world where they have an all-out battle in Secret Wars. They would defeat this version of Doom and possibly restart the universe where a new set of actors will portray these heroes and villains. But hey, that's just my wacky theory. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram at TheKevGuy. Follow Culture Byte, subscribe to Culture Byte, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.